Hey everybody, it's Tanika again coming at you with another recording for the Spoofox update. This video, I want to highlight and kind of just go over the new TSR link that kind of came out over the summer. I am still testing this out myself. I have, as I know many of you probably have, who have kind of played around with it, have submitted some, recommendations to the support team to try to make this a little bit better, so that we could best, use this in our business. As you can see, I've only used it like 5 times since it came out back in July. So yeah, so this is kind of where we are, and I just want to just kind of walk through and just highlight just a little bit as like a high level because I have got a couple of questions and emails just about the link and how you guys could possibly use this if you're using GoHighLevel or some other type of marketing software. Okay, so with that being said, one of the primary questions I get is, how can we use this for our existing leads, or if we're bringing people in from GoHighLevel, like how does that work? So I'm so glad that they put this little question mark here for this purple button. It says like update Autofox onboarding link. So I'm going to go over this because this is the primary question I get. It's really self-explanatory right here in this box. If you just come over, hover over it, basically they're saying if you want this to go out to existing leads as well as future leads, you need to turn this on, right? So ensure that you are updating your Autofox onboarding link. And when they're referring to the onboarding link, if you go to your Autofox and you look at their lead, like your default lead email in there, I think it's like lead step 1 is what they call it. That lead email, it has a button that says order your credit report. But so when you click this, when you turn this on, basically it's going to update that, right? Where it says step 3, and then the lead will, any future onboarding emails where it says click, hey, click here to order your credit report. It's going to automatically be this TCR link now, right? So that's kind of what I understand that to mean. If you have a lead campaign built out, so if you are extra like me and you have like, some nurturing emails inside of the SweetFox software, and you want your existing leads to get that, wherever you had an old consultation link or old like the SweetFox web form or something to that effect, you now want to go in and then input this data variable into that email, right? And then when they click it, it's going to basically update them to basically redirect them to their portal, right? Um, and I'm going to show you in a second towards the end where you can find those emails. So basically, when the emails go out, it will have like, like their login and username or whatever. So typically speaking, historically leads did not have portal access, right? Meaning they couldn't like log into a portal and see stuff. But if you go and look at your lead file, they have always had an actual email and an actual password, I should say, an actual username login, I should say. I guess in the event they did convert to a client. So that information already existed, but now they'll be able to use that login to be able to complete their, to complete their portal thing. The other thing is this button. So to copy your login URL. So, you know what? I don't think I shared this. So I'm gonna come back to this too because I don't think how I shared this. I don't think you guys are going to see it if I open it up. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna also show you how this will look if you was to copy your login URL. So basically, if you take this and you was to place it into Google, it's just going to be like a login screen. It says, hey, it looks like you're trying to complete your sign up, go ahead and log in. I know a lot of people were asking for ability to add this, just embed this right directly onto the website. So that's what this is here. It is the script to put onto your website. If you are designing this on your own or you have a web guy and you want to put this on your website directly and not as a link, then you would come here and do that. Okay. The sign up link is someone who will literally be getting it from the beginning, like the actual sign up link. All right. So I'm going to go in and then now I'm just going to kind of walk you through kind of what I have now and kind of where I am at in the process. Like I said, I have not fully done everything that I can do yet because I'm waiting for a couple of updates. So if you come in and when you first start to update your link, if you haven't already, this is the first screen that you see, which is the home page, right? So this is what your future clients, and leads would see, right? So this is kind of like a preview of it here. You have the ability to come in, you can add whatever language that you want to add here. For the time being, I just left mine the where it came. I didn't add, or customize that too much. I wasn't really too nitpicky about that. You also have the ability to come in and add your own video. So that is super cool and super important. Um, I have not added my own video yet, but I definitely do anticipate me, recording something real brief that will actually be placed here probably by the beginning of the year. I will probably come in and do my own video of myself talking and, welcoming and thanking people for coming to my company and trusting us. And I'll probably put that there versus having this default lady up there, right? um, then when it gets to down here, it's kind of like some of your behind the scenes settings. So here you can have like who do you want this stuff to be assigned to. So I actually do have, a team I use for sales and another team I use for disputing. So here I got my stuff kind of directed towards the team. Here is where you can assign some statuses, in different folders. So this is going to be really important, particularly if you are trying to link some stuff to your Autofox, if you want to build some automations out as people are moving through the process, right? So if that is you, then this is how you would connect your link to your Autofox by these different filters. All right. Over here is your brand colors. I already have mine in here, but you can come in, put in your code. Or if there's a color up here that's similar to what your color is, then you can just click that, right? It don't have to be the exact thing. I think it all looks the same. Okay. So user testimony, I did not put any testimonies in mine as of yet. But for other people who I have had set up their link, I know off the top of my mind that we cannot have more than 3. I have told people like if you feel like you need to have more than 3 testimonies, then definitely reach out. Definitely reach out to your peoples and say, hey, like I need to have more than 3. What's up? Okay. But yeah, if you only have 3, you also have to have a headshot. So this is probably why I don't have any up there yet, because it will not let you save it without a photo. Of course, I could just use some generic random photo, but you do have to have a headshot of the people. And then obviously you would have to go into their files and pull their scores and stuff, and then put their little review or whatever they said. So I have not done that yet. Then moving right along is the chat box. So we have 3 options. You have the option to use the Dispute Fox chat box. You also have the option to use your own chat box. If you are, connected to like GoHighLevel, you can put that here by just, placing your code there. You also have the option to not have a chat box. So right now I have mine set to the built-in chat box, which by the way, if anyone messages you here, if you are online, your chat messages should pop up here. You see it saying I have one message already. Um, you will see that there. Okay. If you are offline, then your chat messages should go to whatever email that you are putting here. Okay. So I'm still testing that out to make sure that I am getting, any messages that people might kind of put in there when someone is offline or it's after business hours, so that we're not missing any messages. I was told, I have not tested this out yet, or at least for me, it has not worked yet. But again, we know it's new, so we know they're still working out the kinks. From my understanding, is because again, you may or may not see this email, but if you have the mobile CRO admin app downloaded, that is the app that is for us. If you have that downloaded, I was told that the app, if someone messages you here, it should go to your mobile app. Should, right? And you see my quotations, my air quotations. I have not seen it yet. So it may be something on my end where I need to uh, change like who is set to. Because that's another thing too with the mobile app. Apparently, as the admin account, we cannot see our team members' messages or whatever. And I know they recently just changed that. So I think I need to like log out of my app and then try to like re-log in again, as under the admin, so I can make sure that I'm seeing the stuff that would go to like the sales rep. Because I think right now I was logged in as the dispute person that was like working the files. So that's why I said like it may be updated, but I know it wasn't. So I just need to test it out to see. But you guys let me know in the comments if you are logged in under your admin account and you're testing this out. If someone sends you a message, hey, just let me know like, hey, it did pop up and it populated in the mobile CRO admin app. All right, because that's what it's supposed to do moving forward. Here I have mine on, but this is here. This is where this will populate, this little message here. For if you have folks that are just like, hey, why I can't talk to somebody, why I can't call you. If they was to click this little click here to answer, why can I talk to anyone over the phone, they would get this generic. And by generic, I'm saying this is already populated, so everyone will have the same language. Of basically why TSR exists and why they cannot talk to you on the phone. Okay. Again, you do have the option to hide this if you don't even want this to show up there. And you also have the ability to come in and change this language as well. It's fine the way it is to me, so I just left it. No need to reinvent the wheel. If you have something different, that may be something that you probably want to do. In hindsight, I am thinking about, moving towards offering some in-person consultations starting early next year. So, I may, put some language here for me in my case that says like, hey, if you really that pressed to, speak to someone or, put a face to the name or whatever before signing up, you do have the option to come in on a set number of days or whatever to talk to somebody in person in office. So I might put that language there and save it. Okay. So the 3B signed up. So this is where they will order their credit report. Okay. So the first couple of pages, this is all still on the homepage, right? This is still all on the homepage. The very first thing they see. All right. Once they fill out the information and hit submit, it's going to bring them over here to order their credit report. Okay. Again, you have the ability to come in and add whatever language and stuff that you want to add to this to help break this up and explain it. Again, I haven't added anything as of yet because I'm still testing it out, just like many of you. Your credit monitoring will go here. Your affiliate link for your credit monitoring will go here. All right. So when they fill this out, actually when they click this button, if you're not using Score Fusion, it will redirect them off this to a different web browser. So they'll have to go, they'll get redirected to your credit monitoring and then they would come back and then put the information here to generate their own report. Okay. You will notice as we're going through this link that they will keep asking you, do you want the chat box to show on that screen or no? For all of mine, I'd always opted to leave the chat box on just in case as people are progressing through the link. If they have questions, they could just, hop in the chat box and get their questions answered. All right. So Once they order their credit report and put the information there, it self generates their own credit audit. So I really love that, because that's going to really take away from us having to mainly go, go and pull, refresh, make sure they up, you know what I mean, and generate and turn it on. It's just going to stop from all of that. So I'm super excited, and that now they can come in and they can do their own report. Okay. So if you guys have followed some of my other videos, I believe it's a year old now, of my streamlining the software or streamlining onboarding. As of the first of the year, I will be stepping away from doing them new video recordings because it's cool to do it, when you're small. But I'm thinking larger now, and I know eventually I do want to scale. Like that is my goal now. So I know eventually it's going to get annoying. And I tell anyone who had one-on-ones with me, like, yes, balloon videos is definitely a nice personal touch if you have the time to do it. But eventually, unless you have a team, doing them videos, even though it's like 10 minutes, it can become overwhelming. It's taken away from you from doing other stuff. So I like the idea of having a self download their own report, right? So, in lieu of doing personalized videos, I will record a generic video of me just going over a credit audit and basically just saying, like, hey, this is how you read this, blase, 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 right? And I'm going to put that up, and it's going to be right here, right? So that's going to alleviate me having to do the personal ones because I'm going to do one generic one and it's going to go there. Okay. Again, you'll notice I'm the automation queen. So you will notice as I'm going through that for all of my statuses or whatever, for all of my steps, they have a status and they have a folder because as my people are progressing through each of these steps, I do have automations on the back end that they are connected to. Okay. Again, and I already said I'm keeping my chat box on. So the next step after that is you have to put your packages. I have three. I have a hybrid, standard, and family. My hybrid is my most affordable. That's where I create the letters for them. They have to mail them out. It's my most affordable, cheapest. And no, actually, I'm not really doing no work. It doesn't take me nothing to go in there and create a letter. But they get to save, I guess, quote unquote, in their mind. They feel like they're saving, because they are doing their own mailing. But it probably even out to be the same amount, honestly, if they factor in, okay, you got to go to print. Some of y'all don't even have a printer at home, so you got to go to the library. You got to print, pay for postage or whatever. But yeah, so they have that you know. Then I have my regular standard program. And then family program is just another word for couples. All right. So just the three. Okay. Oh, so let me just open up one. So for example, you will see that, right? You could see um this is what it looks like. So you come in, you put your price in, you initial your monthly, auto charge or no monthly. So I charge monthly. So I did opt for the auto charge, no money up front, right? I do a 5-day cancellation window, even though I'm in Maryland and we only require a 3-day. I'm doing a 5-day cancellation window. You have the ability to put in a description if you want to put like it's optional. But I didn't put one in because I feel like what's down here is kind of self-explanatory for now of what's included. Okay. And then you could put a disclaimer here at the end. So if, for example, if your credit monitoring is required, then you probably will want to put that there. And I'm going to show you what that would look like, right? So whatever you want to put, most of you, if you're not including credit monitoring, you probably want to put it here. All right. And any other red alerts that you want to flag out to them. Okay. In my case, I include the credit monitoring, so it's not here. Okay. So that is that. And again, so it's 3 packages. Okay. Pricing. Okay. Pricing. So again, you'd have the option to put a video there if you would like. You can change this up. Again, this is what it came with, so I just left it because I don't really see nothing wrong with it. What they have there, and this is so the chat box is on. So pricing model either fixed. Fixed is what I have, which is the fixed monthly pricing. Is regardless of what's on your report, this is what you pay. If you want to do a pay per delete, you see that based on the credit audit, you have to come up and I don't want to click it because it's going to redirect me somewhere else. But you have to go into your billing settings and then set up your pay for delete option. So if you're charging this amount for inquiries, this amount for collections, personal, you would go and set that up. And then once it's set up, right, based on your credit audit, it would generate a bill for them or get them an estimated cost per se, right? If you are billing outside of the Dispute Fox, then you would just hit that. You would select this option, okay? But I'm gonna put mine back on fixed pricing because um, that's what I'm using, okay? We only have the option to do 4 packages. So this is another question I have so far. A lot of y'all, I love y'all to death, right? But a lot of people I've seen, particularly some of my automation clients too, like y'all got like 10 packages, right? I get it. So you got a package for inquiries, a package for this, a package for that, da 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 da. You may, I don't want to say that you're not going to be able to use the link, but it's going to be you just going to have to come in and build out a lot of different stuff if you want to still use the self sign up process. Because as you can see, technically speaking, they only give you options to do 4, right? To do 4, okay? But I'm going to show you towards the end how you can go and do more. Like if you just, basically, long story short, you would have to go in and build out a TSR link for each of them packages, okay? That's probably what would make the most sense and the most easiest, all right? But I only have 3, so mine work, okay? So that's that. Payments. Okay, so now here's your payment page. So again, you have another option to put a video here. I don't even know what you would put here. I don't know, maybe a video of you saying like, yes, I'm really not going to run your car today. I promise. I pinky swear or something. I don't know what you would put there, but you do have the option to put a video here. Okay, and again, you will see, I have some statuses here as well as folders because again, I had some of my stuff connected to some automations that will go out to folks as they are making their way through the link. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I did confirm. So if you are doing automations on the back end, once they submit this payment, once they get here and they actually submit the payment, I did confirm with support that this is the step on where they will officially but transfer from a lead and can be converted to a client. Okay, so that's important to know if you are doing some automations. Okay, this is the page where they become from a lead to a client, right? So once they pay, boom, now they're a client. All right. So again, you can put whatever you want to put here. I just reminded people that they have a 5-day cancellation. This is the status that I have here because again, we have some stuff in the back end. Um, Now here, I'm going to convert my contract. I'm going to have one for what I've been doing with people. So previously, I had my stuff separated out. One, I had so many different steps because I wanted to make sure I capture signatures on each of those pages. Some of the stuff just needs to be separated out anyway. For example, like the authorization for release information and the bank draft, right? I feel like those things should be separated out anyway and not necessarily built in a contract, as well as obviously, your federal disclosures also need to be separated out. So with that said, when it comes to the client agreement, which I'll show you as well, and when you go to the client agreement tab, they do have a data variable, and I posted this inside of my Dispute Fox group. They do have a data variable that you could put in the contract, right? So that data variable is supposed to capture the price, right? It's supposed to capture the price. What's missing though from that is as of right now, it's not like they just kept saying the monthly price, and I believe the initial price. I'm waiting for clarity on that. But what's missing is it doesn't do. We don't have the option to do the calculation like the old pricing. If you're looking in your portal settings and go to client agreements, and then you look at pricing for the data variables, we have the option to estimate the total cost. So if you got somebody in there for 6 month contract or a 12 month contract or whatever, like you have the option to estimate that cost by putting that number in there, and it will populate the total cost, right? So depending on what state you're in and depending on how you're billing, you have to have like the estimated cost of the credit repair service. So that's why here you'll see here that I don't have none of these checked off, because in my agreements I've already gone in and I have the total cost of credit repair, all right, as well as the total cost of credit monitoring if they have to pay for credit monitoring. Like for example, in my hybrid program, they have to pay for their own credit monitoring, so I have the total cost of that. So I believe they are working on that. If not, I know I just literally right before I hopped on this video to do this recording for y'all, I just sent something out to support. They'd be like, hey, we need this. In addition to that, another thing that I did see them send out was that they are working on, if you want to, which we supposed to anyway, so not if we want to, what we should do is for our packages, like in your client agreements, you should have in your client agreement what is included, like how many disputes they get, like how many rounds or whatever the case is. You want to have that in there. So if I was to pull out my client agreement, you would see that I have everything that's listed that for each package that they are paying for. Right. So right now that is not in there either. So if we are doing this little generic thing, um, until they come up with a ways for us to be able to add what's included with each package. And I know they're working on that based off of what they select on the link. So say if they select the standard program, and it should be able to, from the details that we put on the link, it should automatically populate into the contract or whatever. Like, hey, by the way, this is how much it costs and this is what you get. You have to just continue to manually do that. So again, that's another reason why I haven't really kind of pushed it out. Hopefully it would be done by the end of the year, because I do want to like update all my links and then put this on the website. So as of right now, I'm still using my old setup that you guys see on my video, which by the way has over 2,000 views. I love that video. I'm still using that because it's already done. It's already set. My agreements are already good. While I'm waiting for them to kind of fix our contract data variables with this. Once that is updated, I will basically be converting a lot of this just into one. Okay. Especially since now we have the ability to have them initial or sign as they are going through. So now I can just make it one and just have them sign each, piece as they're moving through. And then when we get into the pricing part and what's including part, that's where I need this to be so I can get this in there. Okay. All right. So moving right along. Booking, shout out to them. Shout out to them because at first, boop, it was only me, Fox, but they came back and gave us the ability to add a third party calendar, because I know many of us do not use MeFox for whatever reason. Hopefully they are tightening that up so that more of us can use MeFox. But I know as of right now, I use Calendly. So I was happy to see that we could use a third party calendar, because initially I had this part turned off because it was only giving us the MeFox option. All right. So bam, you'll see that. And of course, can't miss my statuses. So come in, add your calendars so they could, book their it says a consultation on here, but mine is really called like I call mine like a new client success call or something like that. All right. Then we have the mobile app. Okay. So They will be directed to download the mobile app. You have the option to give them the option, I should say, to have them text the link for the app or email the link to the app. You will see that I got my SMS turned off because I do not text inside of the Speedfox, but they will have the option to email the mobile link to themselves to download the mobile app. All right, so then now they're officially going to be starting onboarding. You have the option to say, like, what do you want them to include? Again, you can always come in and change the titles, and obviously, again, set your statuses and any assigned folders that you want folks to go to. All right, this is like super important and cool. Okay. Then last but not least is they did include, some automations, but I believe this is only like one or whatever. And I'm going to show you where you can see that at. Again, so for me, I already had like some custom, automations that I have built out. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to get too much in the weeds of like walking through what I did in Autofox. But if you are interested in learning kind of kind of doing like a live walkthrough of like, hey, how you can, build this out more than just like a one-off email to remind them after 30 minutes, then definitely make sure you are connecting with me in my Skool community. And I will make sure the link to my Skool community is in the comments because that's where all their hands-on training will be taking place, is in the Skool community. So I will go through and I will show you guys some stuff that I've done in the back end because as you can see, this is a long process, right? So people can fall off at any time. They could fall off from the home page after they enter their name, and when they get to the order, because once they do their home page and they enter their name, they are a lead in your system. Even if they don't order your credit report, they are a lead, right? So it's like, what are you going to do with them, right? Because I know even with my old setup, like how many people filled out my web form, but then never ordered their credit report, right? So then you just have like all these dead leads just sitting there. So you want to do something with them, okay? The same thing as they're working their way through the process. You want to have stuff to emails that's going out that talk about payments, like payments and onboarding reminders and things of that nature. So like it's definitely different things that you can do in Autofox to expand on what the Speedfox gives you. Okay, I think so. This is the email. So if you go into your settings, portal settings, this is the email that will go out. Kind of going back to the beginning of my video when I was talking about like, hey, it will send them out this email after 30 minutes to say like, here's your account, your email, your password. Go ahead and log in and finish your sign up process or whatever, right? But again, um, you probably want to do a little bit more than that. Okay. You also have the ability to go in and create tasks. And if you follow me, you all know I love some tasks. I got some over here I need to clear out. Any task that you set up here will populate over here, and it will remind you or whoever the salesperson is that the person is you know well, I think for them, this task is only for the client agreement. So it would just show like, hey, they saw their client agreement, but they didn't sign it, right? But again, if you are building stuff out in your Autofox and you have people dropping off anywhere along the process, you do have the ability to go in and use an Autofox and build those tasks out to help remind, to help kind of keep track of where people are in the process until they fully close with you and wrap up. All right. So this is pretty much all what I have for you as of now. I'm going to show you really quickly what the link will look like. So give me 1 second. Let's see. So this is currently like my home page as it is now. As I mentioned earlier, I do not have any client reviews. Your client reviews will populate down here. It's going to be down the bottom. So at some point, I am going to go in. I'm going to add 3 reviews here. Here's where I was talking about where the TSR thing would pop up, right? So you have that there. I will most likely, like I said, I probably will, again, since I only operate in state, in my state. So, having the ability to offer some flexible in-person appointments, I'm kind of okay with. So I probably will come in and I will kind of put that in there and like, hey, like, and by the way, if that bothers you, you do have the option to schedule an in-person appointment, obviously with some minor restrictions. Okay. This is what the live chat looks like. Okay. They would come in, start chat. By the way, if they come in, because I did test this out, let's just say, like, if they don't even fill this out or they like, oh, I got a question, and they come in and do this will create them as a lead too. This FYI, this will make them a lead because I think I like did this when I put my son name in here and he popped up as a lead. Which, by the way, I put my other son in, y'all, and I forgot I tested out, went all the way through, put my bank card in, all that, and then yeah, I know y'all just told y'all that I got a 5-day window. So, that's what I didn't. So like when you do your window, it's this be amount like if you give them a 3-day window, a 4-day window, a 5-day window, whatever that window is on that billing tab, and you select the auto charge on that day, it is going to auto charge their enrollment fee for whatever card they have on file. So me testing it out, totally forgot to like go in the back and pause his billing. Yes, it charged my card the enrollment fee for him, but hey, it just came right back to me via my merchant account. But I just thought that was so crazy. I'm like, oh my god, like, I forgot to do that. You also, they have this, kind of walkthrough of how the process works. So it's super cool. I would definitely recommend you guys come around, and play around with this because, um, it is a process, but it's a cool process. It's a cool process. So here is what it looks like if you add it to the website. Okay. I'm so tempted to do this, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm not going to do that. So let's do the copy the login. Okay. So here's the copy the login. So this is what I was saying when I was like, if you push the link to your current leads or whatever, or if people back out and they back in, they'll kind of be prompted. Like if they stop along the way, they'll be reprompted like, oh, it looks like you already started the process. Here's your username and password. Um, if they forgot it, they can click here and do a self reset. So I think that is pretty cool as well. The other thing I wanted to highlight is the what the pricing page looks like so that you guys can kind of have a visual. So see here, so this is what I was saying, like if you want to put like your notes to say like, oh, credit monitoring is required, right? Put it down there in the note section is a good place to put it because it will populate right here in the bottom and it'll be in red. Okay, so what you'll see here is I just tested this out right before I did the recording because I was like, I wasn't sure exactly where the package description would go on the pricing page. So I wanted to make sure I got that on the recording, and now I see that it would go at the bottom. So you have what's included, what are the features, and if you want to do a brief description, that would go there. They would choose the package. Is this clickable? Okay, so it is clickable on the preview page. And then you guys can see here what the payments look like. So I will come back over here real quick. You will see this is my packages. I have 0 due today. These are my prices, which are changing, by the way. I feel like I change my prices all the time, but I'm going to change. The only reason I'm going to change my prices the top of the year is because I am going to step away from including the credit monitoring. Even though I know a lot of you guys like it, and I might change my mind by January, but for the last X amount of years, I have included the credit monitoring. And it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really bother me that I include the credit monitoring, in there, because I do like the idea of them just having the one monthly bill for the credit repair. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about failed calls and all that stuff. So I do like the idea of that. And then, hey, my price is my price. And the credit monitor is included. And I don't charge any extra money for certified mail or bankruptcies. Like whatever is on your report will get disputed for that 149. All right, so we'll see. Again, like I might change my mind, but if you guys come back and then you see these red boxes across all three, then I was like, nah, they got to pay for their own credit report. Boop. So that's that part. These are the credit card details. So again, I think I just clicked on the hybrid package, so they'll put that card here. Reminder: whatever they put here is going to automatically charge that card after this period is up. All right, I learned that with my son. Okay. Then this is what the agreement kind of looks like. Obviously, it's going to be, it would be fleshed out more. And it's not going to say the Speed Fox company, by the way. For whatever reason, I don't know why in the preview mode it's not linked up with what your company would actually be. Like, I don't know who Melissa R is. It will not say the Speed Fox company there. But it would definitely be fleshed out. And then, they would sign it down the bottom. Okay, sign the client agreement down the bottom. This is where they will upload their documents. Okay. So again, this is another reason why I say you might probably want to definitely connect with me over at Skool so I can show you how to set up some onboarding reminders. Okay. Because if you have someone just completing this on a whim, what are the odds that they will have? So they'll probably have their ID because no one really travels without their ID, right? But what are the odds that they're going to have a proof of address and a social security card and stuff on them, right? So 9 times out of 10, they're going to back out of this and they're going to want to come back to it, right? But if you definitely want to have some reminders there for them to be able to, come back within 48 business hours and complete their onboarding. All right. So you definitely want to do that. Then here's what the consultation page looks like. Okay. Again, I already told you I have the SMS turned off, but for whatever reason, it just shows. Okay. Like this is not my phone number and stuff either, but this is just giving you a preview, high level, just to show you what the page and stuff will look like as far as where the wording and stuff is going to go. Obviously, if they click this, it should redirect us. I don't know why it's saying page not found, but probably because it's preview again. But it will redirect you to my calendar. Okay. Oh, you know what? I do know why it says page not found. I'm lying. It's saying page not found. It is saying the page is not found because I need to go and change that because I changed my calendar URL. And I just did that like yesterday. So I need to go back into the settings, right back over here, and then put the new link because I did change the name. That's why. See, it's always good to come and play around with your stuff, okay? All right, so that's it. So that is the last page. It's not doing nothing else. So I will come back in and I will basically come over here to the booking and I will change this link because yeah, I changed this. Because if you guys notice, if you're nosy like me, I changed my company name. So this is different now. So that's why it's not working. All right. Well, I was trying to make this not too long of a video. So I want to just kind of end it at 45 minutes. So if you guys, again, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. You guys know I'm around, so you know how to get a hold of me. If you want to hop in and get onto the calls and learn how to do this stuff, in real time and how to connect this link and how you can, just different ideas to brainstorm on how you connect this to Autofox. Definitely, again, join me in Skool community. We have live calls every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm in there giving 100% twice a week. So definitely join me there. Our first call, because again, as of this recording, I just created a group a week ago. So our first weekly call will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then we will meet on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All meetings are recorded, so even if you're catching a replay of this, all meetings are recorded and they will be posted in my Skool community only moving forward for any hands-on automation trainings. Okay. All right, guys. Hope to see you around. Holla at you later. Bye bye.